Okay, hello, everybody. Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, guys. Hello, everybody. Can you? Okay, great. Thank you. Now, let's begin with today's class. In today's class, we're just going to keep practicing on what we did yesterday, and we are going to start to practice part 3, which I gave you a little speak yesterday of what that part was about. So, but first, I would like to start with you with a little bit of chit chat, okay? So let's get comfortable. Why don't we start with Miss Brittany? Tell me, Brittany, are you feeling better today? Well, you don't have a microphone connected at the moment, so you are not able to speak. Okay, don't worry. So how about you, Roger? How are you feeling today? What was your Friday like?
Yes, I'm very good. My Friday are so quiet.
Okay, so you don't do much on Fridays. And tell me something, Roger. Let's talk about this weekend or particularly tomorrow. Do you have any plans for tomorrow, Roger?
For tomorrow, I don't have a plan. Um, Tomorrow, probably, I wake up early.
Okay.
I go to breakfast with my family. Um, Maybe go to cinema and
Okay,
and no more.
great. So when you go to the cinema, do you usually also buy food there?
Yes, usually I eat there. Yes, I like
How about, mhm.
nachos and popcorn, and
All
I like
right,
it.
great. How about you, Marcos? Do you also like cinema food?
Yes, I like the cinema food because it's more easier buy in the cinema, popcorn, and another snacks in this.
Okay. Now tell me, Marcos, do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Yes, I have one plan. I going to clean my house with my family. Tomorrow is day of clean.
Okay. Now let's talk about that. Let's talk with Maria Victoria. Tell me, Maria Victoria, do you like doing the housework where you live?
Yes, a little bit. I don't like clean um every day. It's like 2 days a week, I think.
And is there a particular house chore that you actually like doing?
No.
You, you don't like any of them.
uh, no.
Okay, so let's talk about using your phone. Maria Victoria, do you think people spend way too much time on their phones nowadays?
Uh, no, and actually, yes, the person use too much time the telephone. And my
Okay. And
cousin in general using all day the cell phone, and when I visit um, and I want to play with them, they don't want because they use and play in the cell phone, so they they don't want to play.
okay. And how about you, Maria Victoria? Do you feel like you use your phone way too much time?
Uh, Not too much because in the most of the time, I use the cell phone to read something or contact my parent, but um, and most of the time, no, I don't use too much the cell phone. Only in TikTok, I I spend most of the time in TikTok.
Okay. How
Yes.
about you, Angie? Do you feel like you spend way too much time on TikTok?
Yes, I I try to don't use this app, but I don't know what happened. But when I try to do this, I I spend the of the morning of my evening in this app. So I need to I need leave to leave this app because I don't know what happened with me.
And what kind of content do you watch on TikTok?
So I try to see some news, but so for this in this case in Ecuador, we I watch about the social media, the I don't know the environment, the uh, politics. So I heard this what try to do for our country, but um, so I see this kind of the news on TikTok.
All right. And how about you, Odalis? Do you think TikTok is a good or a bad thing?
I think these are good because in TikTok you have too much information. Obviously, this much information is it's not good. Okay. Obviously, only information is part too good for person and the bad person. Yeah, I
All
think.
right. Okay, so keep in mind those ideas because we are going to be using them a lot when we start doing our discussion practice. But right now, as a little bit of a warm up and also a reminder, we are going to practice for the long term, okay? Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you the pictures that you need to discuss. And after you talk about the picture, I'm going to ask any of you some question related to the topic of the picture, okay? So pay attention to what your classmates are saying and try to, organize your ideas when it is your turn to speak. So why don't we begin with the last of you who spoke? Let's begin with Miss Odalis, okay? So Odalis, I'm going to show you a picture that shows a concert. So give me 1 second to show you the picture. I assume that you have time to review the pictures on your own. So I'm guessing it's going to be easier to find things to say. Let's check. So this is going to be your picture, Odalis. I'm going to ask you to please talk about this picture and describe it.
Okay. The first picture, I suppose it's a concert. The band. Yeah. It's so popular so I can see how many people, a lot of people. Mm, Let me see. I have two guitarists, a singer, and the batteries.
Okay, so in
Um,
English, we say drums, okay, because a battery
oh,
is what you put on your cell phone. So we say the
okay.
drums.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Ross.
And do you
Um,
feel, how do you think these people are feeling?
how do you feel? I don't know. I I never seen a concert. Look, so I watch the concert on movies, TV, and YouTube videos, but I never can see in person in the concert.
And what kind of music do you think they are playing?
I prefer well, I like the rock and heavy metal, electronics.
Okay. Now let's get back to the picture. What else can you tell me about the picture?
I think this a rock band. It's similar.
Okay. Great. Thank you for sharing that with us. This was a tricky one. Now, I would like to ask Maria Victoria. Maria Victoria, have you ever gone to a concert?
When I was a little kid, I go to one concert. It's Floricienta. It's the only concert that I go, and now I don't never for
Would you
now.
like to go to another concert in the future?
In the future, yes. Like it's a boy band. It's a Asiatic boy band. Is
Okay.
BTS.
Okay.
Mhm. It's a
Great.
Korean
Okay.
boy band.
Yes, I know
Mhm.
them. So now let me stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to give you your picture now. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
And you're going to talk about these pictures which show people spending time together and using technology. All right. So here is the picture. So
Okay.
you have 1 minute to talk about the picture. So speak out your mind.
Okay. And the middle is a group of friends. I think. They are happy. The climate in that city is cold because they have sweater. Um, they're happy. They have like 25 years old. I don't know. Um, they're happy to. It's like a tablet. There are see a video and that video is funny. They spend time together, drink some juice, orange juice, and tea. In the background, it's like see cars. It's like a avenue. Um,
What do you think they are looking at in the tablet?
a video or one photo that they take and with uh, a funny expressions in the
Okay,
face.
great. That was very good. That was a great attempt. Now, I'm going to go with Angie. You have a question. Tell me, Angie.
Yes. When we need to refer at about the age, when we can say they are 25 years old at least, or
Yes, that's an expression you could use that
this is a good
highlights a speculation. Yes, that makes sense.
okay.
You can say that to clarify that you're are not exactly sure, but yes, you can say at least. That's a good expression you could use. Yes. You can
Thank you.
also, you can take all sorts of guesses. You can try to guess who these people are, what are their ages, what might their professions be. You can do all the speculations you want. Now, I'm going to ask Marcos. Tell me, Marcos, do you go out with your friends often?
Yes, I often go outside with my friends and eat a breakfast.
Okay. And when was the last time you did that?
Uh, the last time I ate with my friend is 1 month ago.
Okay, very good. So now I'm going to show you your picture. So I'm going to show you a picture that shows people spending time together and taking a selfie. So this is going to be your picture. So please, Marcos, go ahead. Tell me what's happening here.
Okay, I think this is a family. They are a family because I have a father, a mom, and the kids. I think they feel good and exciting because are smiling. They are take a picture, a selfie with because behind there looks at the mountain, and this is a very good moment of the family. I think they are travel because they are like to meet new places, and I think they are a camping because I
Okay,
can see bags in with them.
very good. That's great. Now tell me something. Why do you think that they picked this location?
Mm, uh, I don't know. I think is uh, savannah. It's a mm,
What do you think is attractive about this place? Why would people go here?
because the place is very big and they are see the mountains and the uh, flowers
Okay,
and they are feel the weather better or cloud.
okay, very good. Thank you, Marcos. That was great. Now tell me something, Angie. Which kind of locations do you like to go to when you travel?
I can hear you. Can you repeat me again, please?
Yes. What kind of locations do you like to go to when you travel?
Okay, I prefer to go on um, I don't know, beaches or I don't know. I think when I travel with my family, I try to look up a place that we have a beaches or something like this. But when I travel with my friends, I try to go at a new places that I don't know that I never visit. Uh,
Okay, great.
so
That makes sense.
depends of the.
Great. So now I'm going to show you one picture that also shows people spending time outside on a cold place. So this is going to be your picture. So please, Angie, tell me, what can you see here?
So I I I guess that uh, so the she is her mother and they are her daughters, her son and her daughter, and then are skating and ice skating. So in this case, I think that the her mother and the daughter uh, knows what is the technique to do this sport, but the boy doesn't do that, and he tries it the first time. He I don't know. I think that is a trip, and this is a new sport or a new place that they found with, and he tries to do a new activity with her family.
All right, great. That's wonderful. Now tell me, Grace, do you think skating would be fun?
I think with the skating is very fun, but it's the swim. Oh, no, a slide with my foot.
Okay, great. So now I'm going to show you your picture, Grace. Your picture shows people doing sports, all right? So this is going to be your picture, and you have 1 minute to talk about this picture, Grace. So please, go ahead.
I think this is a fam. No, no, no. Oh, wait. I think it's no. They are is going to play soccer
Mhm.
in the field with your is your mom. Your coach is your mom,
Okay.
and I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Um, 8 year with a prepared campeonato. Campeonato. What is in campeonato?
It's a championship.
Championship. Yeah. Yes. We are
All
prepared with a
right.
championship.
Now tell me, do you think these kids are having a good time?
Repeat the question, please.
Do you think these kids are having a good time?
Yep. Yes.
Are they? Mhm.
This is a kid.
But
Kid is a very fun.
are they having fun? Yes.
Yes. This is going to a play soccer is very fun.
Okay. Do you like to play soccer, Grace?
No, I don't know. No, I don't like. I prefer with the basketball.
Okay. Now let's talk about the place. What can you say about the place where they are?
Yo.
This
Repeat,
location,
please.
the place. Mhm. The place.
What is
Where
this
are they?
location? They are in location is outside in the city. Why you can
Okay. Yes, it could be. Great. Thank you. So remember, when we run out of things to say, you can try to talk about yourself in the context of the picture. You could say, do I like doing the things that people are doing in the picture? Do I think this is good? Have I done it before? You can also talk about yourself. So do not give up too easily. And remember that there are other things you could say. After you talk about the people and describe what might be the relationship, if you feel like you have more time, you can start talking about yourself. Oh, I like football because I also think it's fun. And then you can talk about your past experiences. When I was, I don't know, 10 years old, I played football. I don't know. Then you start talking about yourself. Normally, talking about ourselves is easier than to talk about other persons. So that should help you a little bit to reach that minute of time you have to speak. Also, remember to use the proper possessive adjectives. When we talk about other people and we are not so used to speaking, we tend to use the word your kids, your soccer ball. But remember, it's not mine. So you should say their kids or her kid or his kids. So be careful with the possessive adjectives, okay? So tell me, Grace, was that clear? Did you understand what I said? Okay, so that was wonderful. That was a great attempt. Thank you, Grace. We just need to add that little bit to get to the minute. So remember, talk about yourself. After you finish describing the picture, talk about yourself. Now, I think it was Odalis, the first one who spoke. So let me ask a question to Odalis. Tell me, Odalis, do you like playing soccer?
Sorry, Mister. Can you repeat me, please?
Do you like playing soccer?
No, I don't like play soccer.
Why?
Because I prefer to swimming.
Okay,
I
you
like
prefer to
swimming.
swim. Great. And
Yeah.
how often do you swim?
Excuse me?
How often do you swim?
Mm, it's occasionally I swimming.
All right, great.
Mhm.
So, okay, so this was our warm-up to the long term. I think that you have the fluency we need and you understand what is the purpose of the task. The only thing we need to do is to improve our grammar and vocabulary a little bit, which we are going to be doing in the following weeks. But right now, I think we are ready to go into the practice of the next stage of the exam, which is the discussion. Okay, so let's talk about the discussion. So this little diagram we have here is always going to be the diagram. So let me explain the elements we have here. This central element we have here is the problem we need to solve together, okay? This always comes with a little bit of a situation or problem, which is fictitious, and the examiner is going to say. In this case, they are going to say something like, there is a family who are on a long trip. And our job is going to be to suggest ways in which they could make the trip entertaining. So the situation is always going to be given to you by the examiner, okay? And you need to solve it. So pay attention to the little hypothetical scenario that they are building. Now, in this part, you are meant to talk about these little elements right here that we call the satellite elements because they are around the central elements. So these are the options. These are the possible solutions to the problem. Now, your job is not to find the best. Sometimes people feel that they need to just say which one they think is the best. No, you are meant to have a discussion in which you try to analyze the pros and the cons of the different choices. So let's put it here. You are supposed to talk about several choices, explaining which are the pros and cons of each. Now, do I need to talk about all 7 of the options in my exam? No, it's not necessary. You don't need to talk about all of them. You just need to talk about a few. Let's say 3, 4, that would be enough. So let's put that right here. You don't need to talk about everything. But in order to make the conversation rich, at least try to talk about 3, okay? At least. If you can talk about more, that would be better, okay? So why is a good idea to talk about several options and not just 1 or 2? Because when you talk about several different choices, you are going to use different vocabulary. Whilst if you talk about the same thing during the entire discussion, it's very likely that you're going to repeat the same words, okay? So in order to use different vocabulary, we try to analyze different choices, okay? Now, something important about this task. This is a conversation. Let me put this in low case. This is supposed to be a conversation, not a monologue. What do I mean by this? Remember that in this part of the exam, the examiner is not going to ask you any questions. He's just going to let you speak. But what you say is as important as what the other person is saying. You need to listen to the other person and let him or her speak. ¿Ok? Vamos a ver más adelante que en el examen hay un componente con el cual te van a calificar que se llama Interactive Communication. Interactive Communication es una nota que es entera acerca de qué también tú eres capaz de interactuar tanto con el examinador como con el otro candidato en esta parte de la discusión. Entonces, para tener una nota alta allí, tú necesitas conversar con la otra persona. Y cuando digo conversar con la otra persona, me refiero a no hablar tú solito, sino también dejar que él hable para tú poder reaccionar a lo que la otra persona te está diciendo, ¿ok? Entonces, no se trata solo de decir tu idea, se trata también de reaccionar a las ideas de la otra persona, ¿ok? Y en tu reacción se tiene que notar que tú estás escuchando a la otra persona, porque tienes que reaccionar específicamente a lo que la otra persona dijo. So if I say, for example, oh, I think listening to music is entertaining, you need to say if you agree or disagree and explain why. Oh, yes, well, I'm not so sure. I disagree with you because I think listening to music gets a little bit boring. And also, when I listen for music for too long, my ears start to hurt. So I really don't like listening to music. So you need to interact. You need to react to what the other person is saying. So in order for this to not become a monologue, ideally, you need to try to make your interventions short so that you can make plenty. Okay? So what do I mean? En vez de hablar como por un minuto acerca de tu opinión, acerca de las tres cosas al mismo tiempo, tú solo vas a hacer una opinión breve acerca de una de ellas y vas a lanzarle la pelota a la otra persona, ¿ok? No se trata de decir, de hablar en dos ocasiones y hablar por 40 segundos en cada una de ellas. Se trata de hacer muchísimas intervenciones pequeñitas, ¿ok? Y eso te va a ayudar también con tu fluidez y con tu vocabulario, ¿ok? Entonces se trata que cada vez que hables, estás reaccionando a lo que la otra persona dijo y también añadiendo algo más de alguna de las otras opciones, breves, una o dos oraciones, ¿ok? Y eso debería ser suficiente. So let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of how this looks like, ¿ok? So, no hay premios por comenzar la discusión primero. La discusión puede comenzarla cualquiera, pero para evitar un silencio incómodo, yo les recomiendo que tomen la iniciativa y sean ustedes los que empiezan la conversación. Además, si ustedes lo hacen, ustedes pueden escoger de cuál de las 7 cosas empiezan a hablar, ¿no? Lo cual también podría ser útil, porque a lo mejor están hablando de lo que tú sabes cómo hablar más. ¿Me explico? Entonces, supongamos que este es el examen. Entonces, la persona empieza y va a hablar de listen to music. Well, entonces la persona dice, I think, otra vez vamos a usar vocabulario para hablar de opinión, ¿verdad? I think it could be, mismas frases, listening to music on a long trip is quite amusing. When I travel and listen to music, times goes flying. And then you keep it short. You're not going to keep talking about it. You already make a really good point, a really good argument in favor of listening to music. So instead of just keep talking, because you need to also react to what the other person says, you need the other person to speak so that you can react. Now you're going to throw the ball to the other person, okay? And you are going to ask something like, do you agree? So all of your interventions are going to finish with one of these phrases. You are going to ask, do you agree? Or how about you? Or what's your opinion? Or what do you think? Or any other similar question you might think of. But here you have 4 examples you could use. Try to use them all. Do not use the same one all the time. No uses do you agree todo el tiempo. Si esa es la que te aprendes, intenta aprenderte varias para que cada vez que preguntes, uses una diferente, ¿ok? Entonces, en mi primera observación voy a decir do you agree, en la siguiente voy a decir how about you. Pero todas mis observaciones van a terminar con eso, ¿ok? Para invitar a que otra persona reaccione a lo que yo dije y tal vez él diga algo más para yo poder reaccionar. So, the person B, la persona B, is going to react, is going to say, well, I disagree because I think listening to music for a long time makes my ears hurt. However, but I think reading a book is a good choice because you can bring an interesting book that makes you forget about the trouble. So this person now is going to throw the ball back to A. How about you? And then the cycle repeats. Person E is going to answer the question. Oh, yes, I agree with you that reading a book is a good choice, but if we are traveling on a bus, the bus is moving a lot. I'm going to get dizzy. So I actually don't think that's a good idea. How about, for example, what are these other people doing? Filling a crossword puzzle, un crucigrama. I think that's really fun and helps you with your brain to keep you awake and focused. Do you like crossword puzzles? You can ask the other person. Y luego la conversación se repite. Es como un ciclo. Entonces, yo voy a hacer un esfuerzo por hacer dos cosas. Terminar todas mis intervenciones con alguna pregunta como esta o alguna más específica para el contexto. Por ejemplo, do you like tal opción? También podría ser. Es otra posibilidad. Y al inicio de cada una de mis interacciones me voy a acordar que no estoy hablando solo y voy a intentar reaccionar a lo último que la persona dijo, ¿ok? Recuerden, la idea es hacer la conversación dinámica. En ese sentido, no se espera que justifiquen mucho sus respuestas. No es como en la parte 1, ¿ok? Aquí, o en la parte 2. Aquí para hacer la conversación más interesante, más dinámica, es mejor hacer observaciones bastante puntuales. Pueden intentar justificarlas, pero no hace falta que hagan lo que hacíamos antes de ejemplo, explicar. Aquí podemos como hacer nuestras interacciones más breves para poder hablar más y reaccionar más. Ese es el objetivo, ¿ok? Entonces ustedes van a estar hablando por alrededor de 2 minutos. Como les digo, no es necesario hablar de todas las cosas. Con que tú hables de 2 o 3 es suficiente. Idealmente más de 3, 3 o 4 para que la conversación sea bastante nutrida y densa con vocabulario. Ahora, preguntas frecuentes que los estudiantes tienen en esta parte del examen. A veces el hecho de que sea una actividad colaborativa asusta. Y ustedes se preguntan, ¿qué pasa si me ponen con alguien que sabe muchísimo y esa persona se quiere lucir? Y a lo mejor esa persona no sabe que esta es una actividad colaborativa porque no hizo ningún curso de preparación ni buscó en YouTube de qué se trataba esto. Y él está aquí y él cree que esto es una competencia de ver quién habla más. ¿Qué pasa en ese caso? ¿Qué puedo hacer yo? Bueno, el examinador está entrenado, o sea, el examinador no va a participar directamente en la conversación, pero la va a moderar, ¿ok? Si el examinador considera que una persona está tomando como que mucho el protagonismo en la conversación y no está dejando a la otra persona hablar, el mismo examinador va a interrumpirle para dar pie a la otra persona. Y la pregunta que la otra persona no te va a hacer, what do you think? Probablemente te la haga el examinador. Entonces el examinador va a usar lenguaje no verbal, va a levantar la mano tal vez para decirle a la otra persona que ya es suficiente y te va a hacer así a ti para invitarte a que reacciones. Así que no deberías preocuparte por eso porque el examinador va a intentar moderar la conversación para que sea una conversación. Caso contrario, ¿qué pasa si me ponen con alguien que no sabe nada de inglés? Porque a veces pasa, no es frecuente, pero podría pasar que es una persona que se inscribió al examen B1 sin saber qué nivel era, porque se lo vendieron en el colegio, no sé, y realmente no tenía idea de la complejidad del examen, o sobreestimó sus habilidades hablando inglés, porque le dijeron intermedio y pensó que con su inglés allí medio machucado era suficiente. ¿Qué pasaría en esa situación? Bueno, ustedes reaccionen a lo que puedan. Así sea gestos de ajá o ajá, aunque sea eso, ustedes van a poder reaccionar. Y su nota de interacción va a ser adecuada al contexto. Si ese fue el caso, ustedes estuvieron con una persona que no le gustó hablar mucho o que no entendía mucho, intenten igual reaccionar, intenten igual preguntarle, gesticular. Cuando ustedes te gusta esto, do you like this? Y hacen así con el pulgar arriba, como para ayudar a la persona también de que diga algo con lo que puedan reaccionar. En todo caso, el resumen aquí es una actividad colaborativa, sí, pero la nota siempre va a ser individual. Así que no deberían preocuparse por lo que haga la otra persona, siempre y cuando ustedes sí hagan lo que tienen que hacer, que es hacer observaciones puntuales y reaccionar a lo que la otra persona indique, ¿ok? Entonces eso es lo que vamos a intentar. So, before we do that, antes de hacer nuestra primera práctica, do you have any questions? ¿Hay algo allí que le cause curiosidad, que les gustaría intentar primero conmigo? Ok, todo claro, ¿no? Muy bien, vamos entonces nosotros a practicar. Entonces aquí somos 5, así que yo voy a hacer uno con uno de ustedes y después ustedes se van a dividir en parejas y van a hacerlo también. Entonces vamos a empezar con I'm going to start with Miss Grace. Can you hear me, Grace? ¿Me escuchas, Grace?
Yes. No,
Ok,
pero no
entonces, gran parte de la conversación, recuerden, es no verbal. Para hacer esto que parezca el examen que vamos a dar, intenten por favor encender su cámara para que puedan ver a sus compañeros y sus compañeros puedan verles. Recuerden que esto es una actividad de conversación y yo converso en el contexto del examen mirando a la persona. Entonces, Grace, ¿podrías prender la cámara para hacer esta práctica conmigo, por favor? Ok, muy bien. Entonces recuerda, tú vas a hacer observaciones acerca de las cosas que tú creas que sean buenas o malas ideas para hacer en un viaje. Y al finalizar tu observación, me vas a tirar la pelota a mí con alguna de estas preguntas. Y luego yo voy a reaccionar y voy a hacer lo mismo, ¿ok? So, why don't you start? Please, start.
Ay, pero ¿no va a haber la pregunta antes de o solamente
Ok,
porque
bueno, vamos a
tiene
hacer otra vez la situación. So, el examiner is going to say, let's suppose there is a family having a long trip and they need to find a way to spend their time so that the trip is not too boring because it's a really long trip. Here are some options of what they could do. You are going to tell me which of these options might be a good idea or a bad idea, okay? So please, Grace, go ahead.
okay. I think it's okay, wait. Tengo un apunte. I think to play play the computer it's a very is a on alone to treat is a kid when in a trouble game computer. What is your opinion?
Oh, yes, I agree with you that having a computer with you on a long travel can be a game changer. You can play video games, you can read, but what happens if the travel is really, really long and you don't have anything to charge your computer? That might be a problem, right? So how about something that doesn't need a battery, like for example, a board game, like this one right here. I think board games are fun. And when you are with your friends, they are even more fun. So this is something fun you can do on a trip with your friend, right? So what do you think? Do you think playing a board game during a long trip is a good idea?
Mm, Yes, it's a good idea. It's a Tesla with my friends, and I think this is a newspaper. This aquí arriba.
This one right here.
Okay, yes,
This one.
it's a newspaper. In my opinion, it's a very fun, but I reading is the uh news news fake or without the political notice. What do you think?
Well, I think reading the news on a travel is good, but is that if that's the only thing we are going to do, it might get old really fast because I normally read the news really fast. So I'm going to stay with anything to do. How about if for the rest of the time we listen to music? I really like listening to music on long trips. Time goes flying when I do that. How about you, Grace? Do you like listening to music when you travel?
Yes, I like listen to music with the travel, but it's very relaxing and comfortable. But I think it's reading a book. I think it's reading a book with my mind. It's relaxing. Do you like reading a book?
I do like reading books. However, on a bus, I think I'm going to get dizzy. Okay, Grace,
Okay.
that was wonderful. Eso estuvo muy bien. Fuiste capaz de hacer exactamente lo que te pedí. Y bueno, te fue fantástico gracias a eso. Hay una cosa, sin embargo, que
Thank
probablemente
you.
se estén preguntando. Aquí esta opción que Grace interpretó como un periódico, yo creo que esa chica está más bien como dibujando, porque tiene como un lápiz en la mano y está como dibujando. Entonces la pregunta es, ¿qué pasa si yo malinterpreto lo que hay en una imagen? Bueno, no tienen que preocuparse, ¿ok? Porque, o sea, las imágenes le dan cierto lugar a usted para que pueda especular también. O sea, no es como que le van a quitar puntos porque vio una imagen como no era o la interpretó como no era. Así que no se preocupe por eso. Siempre y cuando sea dentro del contexto general de resolver el problema central, no van a tener ningún problema. Además, bueno, esta imagen que está aquí está en blanco y negro. La resolución es la suficiente para que la puedan ver en pantalla. En el examen de verdad van a tener una hoja, ¿verdad? Bien impresa, bastante grandecita. Así que no deberían preocuparse porque hayan detalles que no entiendan. ¿Me explico? Pero sí, como son imágenes, eso te da cierta libertad para que tú también las interpretes. Así que no debería problema con a lo mejor malinterpretar algún detalle. Muy bien. ¿Cómo te sentiste, Grace? Was that too difficult? ¿Te pareció difícil? ¿Te pareció fácil?
No, sí está fácil, es a ver.
Me
Sí.
alegro que te parezca sencillo. Sí, el speaking exam es sencillo. Eso es lo que tenemos
Ujú.
que mentalizarnos, que esto va a ser para ustedes pan comido, ¿ok? Muy bien. Now we'd like to do this now with Odalis. ¿Estás allí, Odalis? ¿Me escuchas?
Yes, mister.
Odalis, could you please turn on your camera?
Oh, yeah.
Great. So you are going to do this with Angie. ¿Me escuchas, Angie?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. So this is going to be your discussion, okay? I'm going to share my screen with you. So this is the situation, Angie and Odalis. Let's suppose, by the way, give me 1 second. Let's suppose you are planning to do a class activity together to learn about space, okay? There are different ways you can learn about space. In fact, here we have some options of different ways we could learn together about space. I want you to discuss which of these options might be a good or a bad idea and why, okay? So please, Angie, Odalis, talk together now.
Okay, so that is.
Okay.
What do you think we to go on a place that we can learn about the planet? So in these cases, we can change our opinions about the planets or the satellites. So what do you think about this? Do you think it's a good idea?
Yeah, this is a good idea. I needed for the first, to change the knowledge. The students are comprehending the ideas. For example, this activity is range her idea. Oh, can display, for example, the teacher has the question. I consider the planet Mars it's red, okay? The other student, no, mister, I consider Mars planet it's blue. No, mister, other student, oh, mister, I consider the pink. It's a pink, okay? They have generated a debate, okay? And the student explain your the ideas. And the teacher obviously is supervising. And do you agree, for example, this case, these are for children.
Okay.
These are most children.
So why don't we ask now Angie what does she think about that?
Yeah, let's think about this. No idea. For example, Angie, do you think this activity for children paints the planet? Do you think this is a good or bad idea?
So I'm agree with your idea, but I think that it's most funny with their childrens that if they can see the video and in this video it can express what is the meaning some or something learning about the planet or something else. So, and in this video, they can understand or they can note what is the color, the structure, or something like this about the planet. So I think that is more interesting that they can do in this place. But another activity that I can see that's most funny is to okay, it's draw and paint something about what they consider about the planet, like this picture. Do you think it is a good idea that they can learn about the planet?
Yeah, that's a good idea. In this case, you have used the activity in the course for third and fourth grade. It's the most little children. It's a good idea for more implemented creativity. But in the course of more high, for example, six, that, say in the secondary, is secondary. I think this, for example, reading a books or watch a documentary about the space. What did you think? What is it about? It's good or so boring?
Now, I'm agree with your idea. I think that is the most specific structure or tips that they can learning about the planets. So I agree with you.
Ah, thank you.
All right, so let's leave it at that. That's good enough, okay? Then we have our 2 minutes. Very good. Okay, so you did great. Now, in the real exam, you're going to have the actual book on the table. So, as a little suggestion, no lo podemos hacer aquí porque es virtual, pero en el examen real, siempre que hables de una opción, señálalo, ¿ok? También para ayudar a tu compañero a seguir el hilo al mismo tiempo. Ok, creo que estuvimos allí bien. Let's remember, it's important for you to try to keep your interventions short. You only have 2 minutes. And in those 2 minutes, you are supposed to make a lot of little interventions. So you really shouldn't give like a really long explanation about why a particular thing would be great. Just give a really concise argument. If I remember correctly, Odalis, ¿qué era lo que tú estudiabas? ¿A qué era que te dedicabas?
Yo soy profesora.
Ajá. Yes, ya decía yo, sí, porque tú enfocaste mucho la discusión en base a lo que tú sabes, porque tú eres docente. Y eso puede ser un arma de doble filo, me puede ayudar a tener cosas para hablar, pero al mismo tiempo puede evitar que yo hable de, o que yo pueda hacer más intervenciones diferentes acerca de las distintas opciones. Entonces hay que como que intentar modularlo. Otra cosa que creo que te ayudaría bastante, Odalis, tienes el vocabulario, intenta hablar solo un poquito más lento, ten un poquito más control de los sonidos, trata de solo un poquito más lento para que sea más claro lo que dice, ¿ok? Pero en general estuvo muy bien. So, how do you feel? ¿Cómo se sienten en esta primera experiencia? ¿Les pareció sencillo, fácil? ¿Algo que se pregunten después de haberlo intentado por primera vez? ¿Todo bien? Asumo entonces que todo está bien. Muy bien, lo hicieron fantástico, me gustó. Vamos a intentar ahora con María. María, could you please turn on your camera? Okay, so I'm going to show you our topic of discussion, okay? So, suppose Maria and Marcos, suppose you have a friend in common, okay? This friend could be Angie, could be Odalis, could be Grace, and you want to give a gift to your friend because a special occasion is about to happen. It might be a birthday, we don't know. Now, you are going to discuss together which of these different things would be a good idea to give for a gift to give to your friend, okay? That's going to be your discussion, all right? So now, Marcos Odalis, please talk together.
Okay. I think give a chocolate is a good idea because it's very delicious. Eat this. How about you, Maria? Do you like the chocolates?
I like the chocolate, but I agree with you. But some person are like allergic. The peanut butter. Some chocolate have peanut butter, so I don't know. See, the Angie is example. It's allergic, so I think it's not a good idea. Like I suggest a book. Um, it's more um, it's more practice because the person have to the opportunity to read and know more things. Uh, what is your opinion, Marcos?
I disagree with you because I think a book is bored for Angie in this example, or Angie has a busy, and she don't time for read a book. I think other gift is better. A year, a yearly, a, a yearly
Dialogue?
for Angie because she likes the colors or anything.
Next,
What's your opinion, Maria?
it's you say the Netflix. Net.
Eh, aquí no se puede señalar.
This one right here,
Jewelry.
are you
Okay,
talking about
okay.
the necklace, Marcos?
Yes, necklace.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I agree with you because the Netflix it's the best option because she could put when she go out or when visit some parents or family, so they it's more they have uh, more opportunity to use in some case. So I agree with you. Some photograph, it could be the other option. Um, what you suggest or you are agree?
Yes, I agree. Give a photograph because the photograph or the picture uh, could be your friends with use, and I think this is a better gift for their.
Okay, that's good enough. Thank you, Marcos and Maria. Okay, so you made this conversation about Angie. So tell me, Angie, ¿cuál te convenció? ¿Cuál sería el regalo ideal para Angie?
The jewelry, I think that is the best idea to give a
Okay,
person.
so
I
she
like
stays
this.
with the necklace.
I agree
Okay,
with
very good. Great. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so that was really good. A couple of things I can suggest. Be careful with those false friends, okay? Cosas de vocabulario que vamos a ir poco a poco. Color in English se refiere al collar de la camisa. If we're talking about the thing we wear on our neck, we say necklace. Okay? Necklace would be the pronunciation. Necklace. And another one I heard, now the adjective is not practice, that's a verb. Si quieres decir que algo es práctico, you say practical. Practical is the adjective, more practical. And lastly, remember, and this is a word you're going to be using a lot, en inglés, agree es un verbo, en español no. En español el verbo es estar de acuerdo, ¿ok? But in English, the verb is agree. No usamos el verbo to be. I am agree es una mala traducción. We just say I agree. O preguntar, are you agree? También sería una mala traducción. Es simplemente do you agree? Porque el verbo en inglés es agree y no to be in agree. ¿Ok? So little things. But in general, I think you did quite well. Ok, muy bien. Ustedes entienden rápido. Todos ustedes la mecánica general de la actividad. So tell me, María and Marcos, how did you feel? Was this easy? Was this difficult? ¿Algo que sucediera en su interacción que les gustaría preguntar?
No, I think this part is easy, but I think we need more vocabulary for this part.
Okay, yes, we're going to be learning vocabulary, don't worry. Por cierto, no significa, recuerden que este es un nivel B1, tampoco crean que porque uno comete un error así, ya me fregué, ¿no? O sea, ustedes pueden cometer errores y van a sacar una nota alta, porque recuerden, esto es B1, no es C2. En un C2, por ejemplo, se espera bastante precisión. Ustedes pueden cometer algunos errores siempre y cuando no, impacten en el entendimiento general de lo que están diciendo. Okay, let's do one more, okay? So this one I'm going to do with Odalis. Can you hear me, Odalis? ¿Sigues allí conmigo, Odalis?
I hear.
¿Puedes encender tu cámara, por favor?
Okay.
Okay, so let's do this one together. Let's suppose we are planning a class trip for students. Which one would be a good idea for a class trip? Okay, that's our topic of discussion. I think that going to a natural museum is a good idea because I think most kids like animals and they also like to look at actual things. Do you agree with me, Odalis?
Yes, I agree. In this class of science, it's a good idea for a student can see the animals or maybe the learn the history. This is good. And consider this, for example, visit the zoo. Visit the zoo. Do you agree? This is more interactive for a student.
Yes, I think most people like animals and going to the zoo would be an exciting way for they to learn about animals. Now, I think going to an amusement park would be great because I love amusement parks. However, I don't think that there is too much of a learning opportunity there. I think this is just for fun. There's nothing to learn going to an amusement park. Well, how about you? Do you agree with that?
In this case, I disagree because obviously for children it's a paradise for plates and food, but in case a teacher, it's so difficult. You control the group. Um, I don't think about this good for idea, but in vacation day, these are good for your class. It's not. It's difficult. I need to help, for example, a mom or other teacher because I can't do it alone for the control the group. How about you?
Well, I agree with you that you need help. Many teachers need to be involved so that everyone's safe, but that should not be a problem. How about going to a theater or something like that? I think it could be great, but there's a problem. Maybe children do not like theaters. Maybe they think it is boring. What do you think, Odalis?
Sorry, yeah, it's right, but other students like the theater. For example, in the case the language class, this is a good point for learning about the expressions or new vocabulary. But in really, normally, the students is nothing like the theater.
All right, very good. That's good enough. Thank you, Odalis. This was great. Now let's go. Now is going to be Marcos and Grace who are going to team up. Do you hear me, Marcos? Can you hear me?
Yes.
How about you, Grace? Can you hear me? Are you there, Grace? No, I think Grace is not there, Grace. No, not Grace. So you are going to team up then with Angie. Can you hear me, Angie?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to give you your topic for discussion. Now, okay, 1 second.
Marcos is my partner.
Yes. So this is the situation. So there is a family who is planning a day out. They want to spend some time together and do something fun because they are on holiday, okay? So here are a few ideas of the different things they could do on this special day off. I want you to talk about these different options and tell me which you think are a good idea or a bad idea and why, okay? So please, Angie and Marcos, you can speak now.
Okay. I think for spend time with my family is better going to the mountain, going to visit a park and explore the mountain. In this case, I prefer this. What's about you, Angie? Do you agree?
I disagree with you because I think that is to go to mountain. Uh, it's not a trip or a place that if I want to go. So and if I need to go with my family in a trip, I think that is a better go to a zoo, and in this place you can see some animals. I think that is more interesting to do. And what do you think? Do you like to go to a zoo with your family?
Yes, I agree with you. I think to visit the zoo is very exciting for a family because we can see beautiful animals and other species. And in this picture, go to the aquarium for see the for see the animals. But I think play football or see play a game with football. Think is a better idea for spend time family. What about you, Angie?
So I think that they can go to a trip that they can be they can feel relaxed or something like this. And I think that it's a good idea to go to a museum and explore the, I don't know, the history about animals or something like this, and you can see some dinosaurs and some specials like this. And so I think that is a good place that they can go, and if you want to be relaxed. For me, it's a good place. But what do you think about go to the theater or a museum? What do you think that it's better to go?
I agree with you. I think it's better go to the theater because the fathers are the father among has entertainment, but because or maybe the child has do not for the theater and prefer another thing. But I agree with you in spend time family with see the theater. And another thing I can see and I believe is better is go to the beach uh, and uy,
That's
and
called
go
wake surf.
wake surf. Okay, and practice wake surf with the family. Do you agree with me in this thing, Angie?
I absolutely agree with you. I think that is a good experience to doing with your family, and I think that it's a dangerous sport. But I think that it's more be exciting to do another activities that we can see in this boot. So I agree with you, Marcos. I think that it's a good idea to do with our family.
Okay, great, wonderful. That's good enough. Now, are you there now, Grace? Can you hear me, Grace? No, she's unavailable still. And how about you, Maria? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Could you please turn your camera on?
Okay.
Okay, so you and me are going to decide. We are organizing together a talent show. And we are trying to decide which would be a good idea for a prize to give in our talent show, okay? So these are the options right here of the things we could give as a gift. So tell me, Maria, which of these things do you think would be great as a gift, as a prize for a talent show? Okay, can you guys hear me? ¿Me escuchan, chicos? Se me congeló
Yes,
esto un
I can
rato.
hear it.
María
Yes, it's
Victoria,
clear.
¿me escuchas? No sé si soy yo o es María. ¿Ustedes me escuchan bien o se congela?
Yes.
Creo que es del lado de María. Si me escuchas, María, escríbeme en el chat algo, porque no te puedo escuchar. ¿Ahora sí? ¿Me escuchas, María?
I
Hay como un poquito de lag allí.
uh,
Intenta con la cámara apagada, a ver si
I
eso
want to
mejora el internet un poco.
say something. I don't
No te escucho muy bien, se
see
escucha. No sé si soy yo nada más.
anything in the.
¿Ustedes escuchan bien a María o soy solo yo que escucho medio
No,
raro?
se escucha entrecortado, teacher.
Se escucha entrecortado también.
María, ¿me escuchas bien?
Yeah, nadie.
Ahí está mejor. Si algo pasó ahí con tu internet. Let's start over. Vamos a empezar otra vez. So
Yeah.
tell me, which of these would be a good idea for a prize?
Can you repeat the
Mhm.
situation or question?
We
Please?
are planning together to host a talent show. And we are trying to decide which would be a good idea for the first prize of our talent show. So these are some ideas of a prize we could give. So Maria, which do you think would be a good idea for a gift for the prize?
Uh, iPad. It's like an iPad. I think I suggest is the one of the best option because the groups they can use this for um, uh, realize more music.
Okay.
Um, do you agree? Do you agree?
I think an iPad would be a great idea for a price, but I don't know if our budget is going to be able to afford it. I don't think if we have enough money to buy iPads for every winner. Maybe we can just buy a cheap tablet on Temu and then we can give more tablets to people. How about just giving them money, like money prizes? Do you think giving money as a prize is a good idea?
Yes, it's a good idea. Is the second option more practical? But um, the money, for example, um, they want for the first win, the first place. Sorry, they have, for example, um, uh, 100, for example, and the other place they have uh, more, so they don't the good option. They don't are the good option.
Okay.
I suggest the trofeo. ¿Cómo se dice trofeo? ¿Cómo se dice trofeo?
We say trophy.
Trophy. The trophy is the best option because the other place have the same but different uh, different for example the first place have the trophy tall and the others more small.
Okay.
What did you suggest?
Yes, I think giving away trophies is a good idea, and we can also have different trophies, as you suggest. You
Mm-hmm.
give to the first winner and the second place, and so on. What I think would be a bad idea is giving away flowers. I think giving away flowers just is not so good as a gift. I don't think it's a good idea for a prize for a talent show. How do you feel about
Yeah,
giving flowers as a prize?
I agree with you. For example, it is like um, a gift for a model. It's a good idea, but no to the talent show. So I agree with you. It's a bad gift. So yeah, and the tickets, it's the other not good idea for give the like like a win some win. What did you suggest? You are agree?
Well, yes, I agree because maybe the tickets might be for a movie that the winner does not like, so it's not a good price. Maybe they are tickets for Joker 2 or something like that, and then it's actually going to be a bad thing for them.
Bad thing, yeah.
Well, okay, so great. That was a good practice. Very good. Okay, so we have the gist of it. Tenemos claro cómo es el proceso. Now, the second stage of part 3 of the exam are going to be open-ended questions that you need to discuss together, okay? Now, no va a ser una situación que les van a dar y que tienen que resolver. Es simplemente una pregunta que tienen que intentar resolver juntos. Es la misma dinámica, pero ahora con una pregunta. Entonces vamos a hacer lo mismo. Vamos a ir por pares y yo les voy a hacer una pregunta y ustedes van a intentar juntos decidir la respuesta. Recuerden, tengo que reaccionar a lo que la otra persona dice, ¿ok? Entonces, generalmente, como la idea es reaccionar, en estas preguntas a cada participante suele darle solo tiempo para hablar una vez. Así que generalmente en la siguiente pregunta el examinador sí dirige la pregunta para que la persona que habló de último ahora hable de primero. Esa es un poco la idea, para que ambas personas tengan la oportunidad de reaccionar. So let's try to make a conversation out of these questions, okay? Now, I'm going to try now with Odalis is going to try with María Victoria. Okay, Odalis, María Victoria, ¿me escuchan?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a question and you need to answer it together. And my question to you is, do you think is it better to have a big or a small family?
I prefer in my case a big family because I have a big family. I have 4 brothers, so I spend most of the time to them, and I most of the time talk with them, or when I have some situation and need other opinion, I talk with them. And you prefer a small family or a big family?
Well, in my case, I prefer the small family because I consider an introvert person. Well, in my case, I have to only one brother, my mom, my dad, and my cats. It is so simple. And you have the big or small family.
Yes, I have a big family. I have 4 brothers, two parents and 2 dogs. So it's a big family.
Oh, do you have pets?
Yeah, I have 2 dogs.
Oh,
All
it's
right,
cute.
very good. That was great, wonderful. Now, this question is going to be answered by Angie and Odalis, okay? So, Angie and Odalis, this is your question. If you could meet a famous person, who would it be?
This is a so I don't know. And if I could be meet a famous person, so I think that I can meet Michael Jackson. I think so. For me, this is a interesting person that we can could meet, and we can uh, give some presents or something like this about here in Ecuador. But I think that is a so interesting person. What do you think about this, Odalis?
The first, your idea is excellent. Excellent. I like so much Michael Jackson. Is my favorite singer in the world. So it's a great honor for me for meeting. But actually, it can't possible. But you know, he said. But is it possible? Oh, are you dream for me? So I have to question Angie. For example, you have the opportunity to meet Michael Jackson. How did you first question your say for him? Or your first question?
I have some questions about for him, but I think that the most important question is what happened with him. What about his death, or what happened with his family? Because this is I don't know, it's small and expect about the situation, and what was the relation with the Princess Diana.
Okay, very good. That's some interesting topics right there. Now, this question is going to be addressed by Angie and Marcos. Are you still there with me, right, Marcos?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is your question. Would you prefer to live in a big city or in a small town?
I prefer live in a big city because I need uh, to I need to have more places for visit, a supermarket, a pet shop, etc. I need more places for visit. How about you, Angie?
Sorry. I disagree with you. I think that it's better but to live in a small town. So when you live in a small town, you can. It's more. It's more easier to connect it with the nature or to analyze something in your life. So I think when you live in the town, in a small town, you can enjoy or you can share with your family. So I think that it's better to do. But I agree with you when you said that it's to when you have to do more activities in a big city. So what do you think? What kind of the activities that you can do in the big city?
In a big city, I can't go to the cinema and go to the mall because in the in the small town is not there in this place. I I prefer the big city because this and it's more difficult in a small town get some things about food, about shirts, about clothes, about whatever for
Okay,
things
great.
about.
Very good. Now, is Grace there with us or is Grace still missing? Are you there, Grace?
Yes, I hear.
Okay, so Grace is back. Wonderful. Now, Marcos and Grace are going to address together the following question, okay?
Okay.
And this is your question. Let me look for a good one here. Do you prefer to read a book or to watch a movie?
I prefer to watch a movie with a cinema, but it's interesting. With my favorite movie is the action with the um, Marvel Studios. Is my favorite hero is Iron Man. I love it. ¿A quién le hago la pregunta? Oh, okay.
Marcos, you're talking to Marcos, yes.
Okay, Marcos, do you have um do you like in a movie with a Marvel?
Yes, I agree with you. I prefer go to the cinema or watch movies because for me, read a book is boring, and and I prefer go to the cinema. No, I like to Marvel's films. I agree with you, and whatever things about action or science fiction, this is interesting for me. And when you go to the cinema, what you buy for a food, Grace?
My favorite food is popcorn, juice, and chocolate, with a combo.
Okay, great. Let's leave it
Yes.
at that. That was good enough. Now we're going to continue talking with Grace, but now she's going to address this question together with Maria Victoria. So Maria Victoria and Grace,
Okay.
do you prefer making friends online or in real life?
I prefer in real life, but when I play play in online in games online, I prefer the both. When I play in the play and playing online, I like to make friends in online, but in the real life, I prefer in person, no persons. What about you, Grace?
Yes, I agree. I agree you. And I prefer with online game
Mm,
because it's an interaction with a different person in the
yeah.
various of different series, different country.
Mm.
In my only this.
What type what type of games do you like? I like the games when have like history, the history about the the principal person in the game.
Okay. Okay, that's good enough. That was great. Now, that was really good when you see that your partner, if you see that the other student is struggling a little bit, giving him a hand, asking me a question to give him an idea of what can say. That's a really good thing you can do. So, very good for that. Now, what I want to discuss with you now that we have the practice and we certainly understand what is the purpose of each task and we know how to do them. Now, I want to talk with you about how is your speaking score going to be calculated, okay? So I'm going to show you what we call the grading criteria for the B1 exam so that you know how is your score calculated, what is it that you need to do, okay? So I'm going to give you here a little guide that you can read on your own time, okay? If you remember, I showed you a video about Mohammed and Kenza. I did that with you on Wednesday. What I'm going to give you here is a little PDF you can read to see the grading criteria in action. Let me show you. First, we have here a little introduction talking about how is the score calculated. And then the criteria that the examiners are going to use to give you a score. I'm going to talk about this in specific terms in a minute. And in the later pages, you're going to actually see how was this rubric applied to the example of Kenza and Mohammed in the video I showed you. So you can have a good idea about how exactly was Kenza's and Mohammed performance graded so that you can have an idea of how would your performance be graded, okay? So I'm going to send you this little PDF so that you can read. That's going to be your only homework for this weekend to read that little PDF and to go back to the video of Mohammed and Kenza that you can also find in the platform and see how this grading criteria is applied. And right now, I'm just going to go step by step into each of the important things that we need to be paying attention to. So give me 1 second. Now, if you remember, in the exam, there are two examiners. Hay dos examinadores en el examen, right? We have the interlocutor, ese es uno, and the assessor. El interlocutor es la persona que habla contigo en el examen, ¿no? Y el assessor solo está atrás escuchando. Ahora, gran parte de la nota la va a poner el assessor. El interlocutor también pone una nota simplemente del 1 al 5 que llaman criterio global. Él va a decir como en general del 1 al 5 que también estás siendo un 5, prácticamente un B2, y siendo un 3, lo mínimo para tener un B1, por ejemplo. Así es como funciona grosso modo. Si te dan 5 en un aspecto, es porque él considera que en ese aspecto estás a un nivel B2. Si te ponen un 3, quiere decir que estás allí en lo mínimo para ser considerado B1. Así es como funciona. Es decir, para aprobar el examen necesitamos un promedio entre todo eso de al menos 3, ¿ok? Entonces sí, el interlocutor te da como un score global de todo y el assessor te va a dar un score más desglosado que va a pesar más en tu calificación. Y ese score que te da el assessor, que importa un poquito más porque tiene más ponderación, está dividido en 4 criterios, en 4 términos. Grammar and vocabulary, discourse management, pronunciation, and interactive communication, ¿ok? Que vamos a llamar en términos más amigables, sin usar tantos tecnicismos. Entonces, eso es básicamente, discourse management es prácticamente fluidez, fluency. Vamos a leer qué necesitas tener de fluency para sacar B2. Dice, produces extended stretches of language despite some hesitation. Hesitation quiere decir duda. Es decir, eres capaz de hablar presentando poquita o ninguna duda. Es decir, hablar por completo sin hacer muchas pausas. Contributions are relevant despite some repetition. Todo lo que tú digas es relevante, es decir, no vas a hablar de cosas que no están relacionadas con la actividad. Pero bueno, puede que en alguna ocasión repitas tus ideas o algo así. Ya yo les dije cómo podemos evitar repetir simplemente cambiando el tema. Si estamos hablando del long term, me busco otra cosa de qué hablar, ya dejo de hablar de cómo se sienten estas personas, ahora hablo de quiénes son estas personas. Intento hablar de varias cosas para no repetir. Y por último, uses a range of cohesive devices. Esta es una palabra que vamos a analizar con mucho más cuidado la siguiente clase, pero vamos a ponerlo acá. Ya sabemos cómo hacer para la de evitar repetición. Ya sabemos cómo hacer para la parte de fluidez. Falta ver qué es eso de cohesive devices. Vamos a ponerlo acá. Sea lo que sea, yo sé que son importantes porque en la criteria que el examinador va a usar para darme un puntaje, dice que yo tengo que tener muchos de estos cohesive devices. Ya luego vamos a ver qué son, porque eso también va a ser importante para writing, que es lo que vamos a ver la semana siguiente. Vamos a ver qué es lo que te piden para pronunciation. Para pronunciación lo que nos dicen es pronunciation. Y is intelligible, básicamente eso significa el examinador te puede entender. Intonation is generally appropriate. Intonation es dónde está la sílaba fuerte en una palabra. Recuerden que en inglés no hay tildes, pero igual las palabras tienen entonación, ¿verdad? Yo no digo interesting, yo digo es interesting, ¿verdad? Me dicen, individual sounds are generally articulated clearly, que los sonidos suenan bien en general. Ahora, en general las personas se preocupan mucho por la pronunciación, pero yo les voy a dar algunas palabras de alivio. Todos ustedes acá tienen una pronunciación suficientemente buena para este examen, ¿ok? Es decir, la pronunciación no debería ser preocupación para ninguno de ustedes, ¿ok? Así que me gustaría que se enfocaran más en mejorar los otros aspectos, ya que si pueden tener un score alto para los otros aspectos, para pronunciación también van a tener un score alto, ¿ok? Así que no nos vamos a enfocar mucho en la P, pronunciación. En grammar and vocabulary, sí. De hecho, eso va a ser el foco de la semana siguiente, porque Las mismas cosas que nos van a pedir acá, vamos a ver luego que en writing también nos las van a pedir. Y lo que nos piden es, dense cuenta que grammar y vocabulary está colapsado en la misma cosa, es decir, es solo 25% de tu nota, incluso menos si metemos lo del Global Achievement. Así que a veces las personas se preocupan porque todo es grammar and vocabulary, pero no, es un 25% nada más. Y dice, shows a good degree in control of simple grammatical forms and attempt some complex grammatical forms. Ahí está otro término que tenemos que definir para entender bien qué tengo que hacer, ¿no? Tenemos que entender que es una simple grammatical form. Hay que entender qué es eso porque me lo están pidiendo. Y tengo que entender también qué es una complex grammatical form. ¿Qué será eso? No sé todavía, pero sea lo que sea, tengo que averiguarlo porque me lo piden en mi examen de speaking. Me dicen que es necesario que yo tenga eso. Así que vamos a ponerle otro pin allí. Y por último dice, uses a range of vocabulary to give and exchange views on familiar topics. ¿Qué quiere decir eso? Que para todos los temas que trataste en el examen, pudiste encontrar palabras, ¿ok? En ningún momento fue problema para ti buscar vocabulario para hablar de los distintos temas de cada pregunta. En general, yo creo que el vocabulario de ustedes puede mejorar, pero si se dieron cuenta, fue suficiente para que ustedes pudieran responder satisfactoriamente todas las cosas que hemos hablado, ¿ok? Así que definitivamente podemos aspirar a tener un B2 en vocabulario con un poquito más de práctica. Y finalmente, el último score es Interactive Communication. Esto es prácticamente lo que yo les comentaba, qué tan buenas son mis interacciones, ¿ok? Tanto con el examinador como con el otro candidato. Y dice, initiates and response appropriately. Cuando dice response appropriately, es lo de reaccionar, ¿ok? Yo no estoy hablando solo. Lo que la otra persona dice es importante porque parte de mi score tiene que ver con cómo respondo a lo que la persona dijo. Así que tengo que escuchar porque yo necesito usar lo que la otra persona dijo para nutrir mi interacción. Y lo siguiente que nos piden es, maintains and develop the interactions and negotiates towards an outcome with very little support. Es decir, ustedes son capaces, cuando dicen aquí, negotiates towards an outcome, es la parte esa de intentar buscar la solución para la parte 3 del examen, en la cual ustedes están intentando decidir juntos cuál de las opciones es la mejor o es la peor, podría ser también. Entonces, como pueden ver, esa parte de reaccionar a lo que la otra persona dice, de escucharla, de hacer que esto sea interactivo, es un 25% de mi nota prácticamente. Así que recuerden eso, el examen es en pareja, no es un monólogo. Lo que la otra persona dice es importante. Yo no voy a apagar mi cerebro cada vez que la otra persona hable porque yo tengo que escucharle para responder, ¿ok? So this is the criteria. Entonces, lo que quiero que hagan de aquí al siguiente lunes es que lo lean, que vean cómo le aplicaron esto a Kenza y a Mohamed en el vídeo para que ustedes tengan una buena idea de cómo se les va a corregir, para que ustedes sepan exactamente qué es lo que tienen que hacer para hacer exactamente lo que el examinador les va a pedir, ¿ok? Entonces, repito, yo les describí qué es lo que hay que hacer para sacar B2. A eso es lo que vamos a aspirar. Si nosotros apuntamos al cielo, nuestra flecha como mínimo va a caer en las montañas. Así que para prepararnos para obtener al menos 3, vamos a intentar practicar para obtener un 5. Y así si nos quedamos cortos, al menos sabemos que vamos a estar por arriba de 3, ¿no? Porque si yo practico para sacar un 3 como mínimo, va a pasar lo contrario. Me voy a quedar corto y voy a quedar como por el 2. Así que vamos a intentar practicar para obtener un 5 y de esa manera yo voy a tener seguridad de que por lo menos por arriba de 3 estoy. Repito, un promedio de 3 es lo mínimo para que en tu nota de speaking diga B1, ¿ok? Entonces hay que estar en nuestro resultado final tiene que estar en algún lugar de acá, entre 3 y 5, ahí debería estar nuestro promedio, ¿ok? Entonces yo le dejo esto para que usted lo lea con cuidado y probablemente el lunes, si tiene alguna pregunta respecto a esto, la pueda dirigir aquí a mí para yo con usted practicar. Entonces, tome nota de estas 3 cositas, porque la clase que viene vamos a estar hablando de estas 3 cosas, que ya sabemos que no sabemos qué son, pero sabemos que las necesitamos porque nos las están pidiendo para sacar un B2 en speaking. Y ya vamos a ver más adelante que en el writing nos van a pedir también estas 3 cosas. Y es por eso que la vamos a tratar la semana siguiente cuando empecemos el writing exam. ¿Ok? Entonces díganme, chicos, That was the speaking exam. No va a ser la última vez que practicamos speaking, pero ya a esta altura ya ustedes conocen todo el examen de speaking, saben de qué trata cada parte y qué es lo que hay que hacer en cada parte. En ese sentido, before we wrap it up for today, do you have any questions about the speaking exam? Is anything there you are curious about? ¿Alguna curiosidad? Probablemente mientras leen eso que les envié, mientras ven videos, se les ocurra alguna cosita más. Así que espero que la traigan el día lunes para discutir, ¿ok? Bueno, vamos a dejar la clase. Aún faltan unos minutos para las 9. Vamos a darle un poquito más temprano hoy porque varios estudiantes se la perdieron. Supongo que por el tema de este fin de semana medio raro que tenemos con las elecciones. En todo caso, recuperamos estos minutitos el día lunes, ¿ok? Me parece que sería una buena idea. So, Angie, Grace, Marcos, Maria, and Odalis, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope to see you again the Monday to continue, okay? So thank you. Have a great weekend. See you guys on Monday. Cuídense mucho.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Goodbye. Take care. Cuídense mucho. Goodbye.